Hello and welcome back to year 7. I was just looking around at the map. It's been a couple days again, and I saw that they had failed to take France. They failed to take a couple of provinces, so we're slowly just edging back out to the periphery. I think I'm going to leave a man in France just to make sure that they have to commit, multiple fighters and things to protect it. Not that the British are starved for planes or anything like that. In fact, that is kind of an argument against it, but we're going to try taking some places back. We have 9 men marching through Poland, a residue of this return fire going through Ukraine. Some of the Ukrainians split off into West Russia, but really we're trying to pile in Belarus. We've purchased a bunch of artillery and men. We're going to slam that artillery in Belarus so that next turn we're ready to attack Russia. And not only that last time we had attacked Russia, we just didn't have the planes around to really make it happen. This time, we're going to have 5 planes in the area, plus the bombers, so 6 planes total. That's going to help kick us into Russia. Meanwhile, Russia is trying to push out. They could kind of swallow all of their defensive resources back in. Though, let me just look players. Russia has enough to buy 5 men, which would be a bit nasty. But the fact that the Allies have to tie in so many planes defending this is just sick. And throwing down some artillery in Belarus, or rather in the Caucasus, is really gonna put some pressure on. Meanwhile, we're blowing up the Brits and the Russians and a couple of other places as well. So overall, very good. No fights happening for the navies or anything like that. There's a huge convoy force right now by the Americans looking to bring things over, but they're taking a little while to get that all sorted. Though technically in France, they could have this fleet thing coming in, they could have this transport coming in, but a couple of these ones here are just a little bit too far away this round. They could also bring one fully loaded transport down here in the south somewhere. Not sure where, but basically we can't fight over Africa. We've absolutely been cut off for the longest time. And yeah, without further ado, I think we just hit go, right? We're only deploying 12 things. 4 of them are going to Caucasus, only 8 are going to Germany. We brought some things from Italy last turn. They did get a hit back. That's unfortunately how it's going to be. Let's see if they get a hit back in Persia, where we've only sent 1 man. Hey, that's good. Kazakh, we have 2 men, so it's not as bad. But hey, once again, they are low on troops to do counterattacks. So if they want to bring us out of Kazakh and kill those 2 men, they have to send stuff in, which means they're not sending it into Russia. And then finally, West Russia, they did hit us there, though they had a pretty good chance of doing so. So all of this comes in. We've got 6 planes ready to take off and threaten Russia. The Japanese are going to be coming in fast into Xinjiang. Again, they could attack us there, but I don't see it going well for them. And we have all this land troop stuff happening. Like, Japan's in a pretty great spot right now. Though this is a scary fleet. Let's see what the Britain does to equalize the board here. Here we're going to be throwing in a bunch of men and stuff. So now we're up to 6 artillery. That is a lot. And the 8 tanks. We might have been able to force Russia down to losing planes and stuff, but maintaining these 8 tanks really stops them from being able to march down through Karelia on Germany. Though even if they did, they have 25 units. That's kind of scary, but we thrust into them with these 19, all of our planes. Unfortunately, our tanks couldn't get there, but it would be pretty nasty, I think, overall for everyone involved. But once this army here is a hard point. Like, if it wasn't for that army, this whole game would fold. So that's really tying down their flank, and we've got a lot of pressure on them. So let's hit done. 42 income, that's good. As long as you're maintaining the 40s for Germany and you don't slip down to about 30, you can usually maintain a little bit of momentum. Here they come into France. They're only sending a single man. That is bold. Oh, for some reason the auto screen is coming up over there. Okay. So they did take France. They didn't lose their man on the 1/3 chance, and they also didn't lose their man in the 1/3 chance there. Though, quite frankly, they could have done more. I think they could have done more. Maybe they couldn't. They're loading up this American Air Force. They've bombed us in the Caucasus. I don't think that they lost a plane. They've bombed me many times, and I don't think that they've lost a plane yet. Combat, strategic bombing. Bomb, bomb, bomb. And in the bomb, they rolled... Oh, it's full roll, so they just rolled a 6. Okay. Yeah, well, whatever. Rolled a... They only sent one bomber, and then they hit on a 6. So that's a pretty crippling blow, to be honest. Anyway, so let's... Ooh, excuse me. Show current game. Let's talk about the Japanese. Now that the Americans are here. Looking kind of nasty. Looking kind of not great. We have this fleet down here. We can't connect them in a way to make the doo-doo happen. I almost spilled my tea on me. That would have been bad. But we can go take Western Australia, perhaps. The most they can do is come back to Hawaii, really. Or come back up to West Coast. So I think that it might even make sense for a turn to take Western Australia. Maybe even position our fleet here in Solomons. Is our fleet strong enough? A battleship and a cruiser. 2 aircraft carriers. 3 destroyers. Yeah. We've got them beat. It looks like they have a lot. But it's really just a fully loaded aircraft carrier, a battleship, and a couple destroyers. So if we post in Solomons, that's going to force them even further away. Yep, okay, I like that. And then we'll have to talk about what we're going to do over here. We need an air force in Burma, though unfortunately our planes are all kind of spoken for pushing hard in other places. I'd really love to expand the air force. But at the same time, we can't let the Americans get ahead of us in a fleet. So I'm going to cut, and we'll see what we have in a minute. All right, we're back. So we've done a weird thing here where we're pushing forward into Xinjiang, but we've dropped our troop reinforcement in Manchuria. Instead of striking forward with all the troops we had, we're actually bringing the Kwantung troops down into Yunnan. And that's because there's 3 bombers in India that can go 1, 2, 3 and blow up anything we have off the coast. And we just couldn't get our aircraft carriers and stuff back. So I'm bringing 1 aircraft carrier off the front line, which means that the Solomon Islands plan is still a little bit precarious. So we're going to do a lightly defended transport here. If the enemy decides to come close and swat at us with their planes, which they can do, it's a thing, we're able to double back. Because these subs in the Caroline Islands, I've decided to post them here. You can go all the way here, here, right? It's a very flexible Caroline Island sub location. Very happy with it. And then I also gave them a destroyer just in case. There's a destroyer here. And then there's one defending in Manchuria in the bay. This is a very safe location to be. Next turn, we might bring our transports back to Formosa, in which case we can bring this destroyer back on top of this aircraft carrier. So that's what it is. We're putting pressure here, blitzing our tank forward. On way, I sent 2 troops there instead of 1 to Buryatia. I keep going back and forth on whether I like this move. Just because if the Russians do step forward, but they can't step forward that heavy actually. So on way, where is this move? I've been going back and forth on it. I'm not lying to you. You can tell because I'm literally doing it mid-chat. We're sending 1 guy each way. Here we're ready to go. The Americans could come in and take East Indies as well. That's one thing I am concerned about. But again, with this flexible little fleet, airplanes nearby. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's tight. 1, 2, 3. Well, with this aircraft carrier having the ability to come down, that means that we're actually going to be able to get 4 planes there and a bomber on top of 4 surface vessels. So anyways, or subsurface in the case of the subs. Let's go, I think. So we're taking Burma, we're taking Xinjiang, keeping the pressure, and then trying to edge out this American fleet, saying, no, you are not allowed to combine with this semi-American, semi-British fleet, which is actually ballooned up to something a little bit on the nasty side. So let's hit done. Yep, done. So Burma, they got us, which is why we sent 3 men here, just to be able to grind it out. And they didn't get us on the second shot. Taking Burma isn't that important, but I really want the British to bleed their troops from India to the right instead of up to the left, because they really, 3 men per turn is what the British get to deploy in India. So they don't have enough to really keep trading with us like this. Hey, and we got a good hit on them at that point. So good take of Sinkiang. Could have been smoother, but we missed that first big shot. Non-combat move. The bomber can stay here. That's very flexible. These planes are in the right spot. Everyone's happy. Everyone's good. Well, Eastern Australia isn't so happy. And, yeah, that's it done. We didn't build a factory this time, so we're actually getting planes on the board, which is very good to see. So, a plane at sea. I'm really liking these Manchurian tanks. So, 1 of each. We'll get a Kwangtung tank just in case we need it. And then 4 more men from the mainland. So those tanks are able to go 2 spaces, which allow them to really blitz. Like, Kwangtung is very flexible, but I really do want infantry from here as well for the Burma road. And let's hit done. So this is a big American move. 42 for the Japanese as well. 42 twice. So that's pretty good. Let's look at player total unit value. They have 1,000. Oh my god. We have a long way to go. Americans do be attacking us, but they're taking losses as well. And they are running away with that main fleet, and they're reinforcing India. Okay, interesting. And wow, lots of men in Finland as well. Not lots, but enough. And then Morocco, lots of men. The thing that they killed in Belarusia allows the Russians to step forward. And there we go. We've gone full circle. The Germans have been bombed in Belarusia, but the Russians abandoned their capital? I guess they had to, because the British moved their planes to India after their turn, saying there's no way, Jose, we're going to hold up against all this artillery and all these planes, because we scared them so much. And then the Americans bailed, and then the Russians had nothing left to do but bail. Interesting. And they didn't even take Evenki. That, to me, was kind of a free grab if they had just gone for it. So this is the downfall moment for Stalin. They're about to get pretty dummied. Don't get me wrong, there's a force up here in Archangel, which allows them to counterattack it, but they can't counterattack how much we have. So at this point, as long as we keep pumping units out of this spot here, that should be sufficient to hold back the India front as the Japanese close in on it. This amount of numbers of allies coming from North America does not scare me. I mean, they do have a full fleet in the United Kingdom. I don't know. Let me know how you're feeling about this one so far. I mean, I think that this is the fact that we're taking Russia, to me, is the flag, the turning point. Now we're on the way to completion, the complete destruction of the Allies. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.